Përshëndetje, zonja dhe zotëri, takohemi prapë në televizion njës të një, dhe sonte jemi bashkë me ambasadorën, fuqi plotë të Shtetet Bashkuara të Amerikës, zonjën Ageler. Madam Ambassador, bienvenue, welcome. Bit of diplomatic French. You're more than welcome. It's been a while since we haven't seen you. And before everything we go into our conversation, I would very much like to wish all of your friends and co-friends Americans a happy Thanksgiving. And it matters a lot to us, that we do such a thing to American partners and friends, and may God bless the USA. I hope that you do hear it often, these blessings, because it's been a while that I haven't.
Well, I haven't heard it from you because I haven't seen you for a while, Fatmir, but let me tell you, I am happy Thanksgiving to you and all of your viewers, and I'm very grateful to be here with you today. And one of the wonderful things about Thanksgiving, what makes it my favorite American holiday, is that it really gives us a chance to sit and consider the things we are grateful for. And so, for the record, I am very thankful to be here with you today. I'm enormously thankful for my team at the embassy, for the country that I represent, and it is such an honor to be the American president here in North Macedonia.
I'll go back again to the question. Do you hear it more? Do you hear it often from your contacts, your partners in the country? Someone saying, "God bless America."
Perhaps not in exactly those words, but I do hear it a lot. And I really do.
Not on those words, but you do hear it a lot.
I hear very much people, and you and I talked briefly about partnership, about how important this, not only the partnership, but the friendship between our two countries. And you know, it's the 30th anniversary of
especially on this blessed holiday.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're marking 30 years. And we are actually, both countries.
And actually, what's important about that is actually this partnership is older than 30 years. We have been doing things together and working together on shared values and shared goals for longer than 30 years. And so the important thing is it's not only it's been recognized by a lot of the people of this country and talking to us about that friendship and partnership, but it's also deeply important to us as the United States. And
how to best understand what does really this partnership mean between the North Macedonia and the United States of America? What does it really mean?
In my view, it means recognizing that you have shared values and shared goals, and then working towards them. And working towards them in a way that benefits both of you. Because a partnership is not like a big brother and a little sister kind of relationship, or one of those. It's where both parties have something to gain and something to lose if that partnership doesn't work out. And the partnership works best when it's genuine and when it is based in that foundation of having things that we both care about and that will benefit, again, as I said, both of our countries.
So what do we share as common goals and values? I'm very interested to know. Since you say that it's the partnership, it's based on exactly those two premises. What do we have in common?
We both believe in democracy. It takes different forms, or forms of government are different in our two countries, but we value the individual just as we value the communities. And so having a foundation of one, for example, economic stability and growth are incredibly important to your voters in this country, to the public in this country, and they're incredibly important to us to help promote that. Not only is it positive for American businesses, but having a stronger economy in North Macedonia is incredibly beneficial to the United States. Security comes from that. Our shared security is another one. And you know, of course, the NATO membership of this country was a real milestone.
Huge milestone.
And we are very proud to have been an active participant in seeing that happen, because this country has also been a very important ally within NATO, and a contributor, a serious contributor, and a country that recognizes the importance of having a stronger European alliance and transatlantic relationship.
Well, believing and working to that end is not that, I mean, believing, definitely. Sharing some values, yes, but working on enforcing those shared values and such, it's not that we are satisfied as public opinion, never. But in the past 3 decades, the public opinion as well has shown, how should I put it best? they showed as well some attention to Russia, because we have the public opinion as well, it's shifted here. We have as well a huge numbers, when I say huge compared to the region, besides leave Serbia out, which are extraordinarily high. Why is it so, in your understanding?
Well, history.
I know it's a free matter, and one can think what they want and cherish whom they want. Yes,
yeah, of course. But I would also suggest history. There's a history of interactions throughout the Balkans, and frankly, that's true of other countries as well. And yet, as the American ambassador here, my concern is about how we as the United States are interacting with this country. And so it's not, for us, it's not a competition. It is, what are we doing as the United States? Yeah.
Nice to hear that.
I'm fine. I will simply say that you know, our goals here don't change. Our goals don't change in terms of how we are.
Your current interests. Everyone says, America has its interest in Macedonia. What are your interests in Macedonia?
Very honest. To genuinely, and I'm being very honest with you, to have a safer, stronger, more secure country that has a vibrant democracy, whose citizens...
This is all in wishful thinking. Safer, securer, it's not. Does it mean that it's not safe, it's not secure? The democracy is still at that point.
We can all do better.
Of course, but
both
you're
of our
saying
countries
safer.
can do.
I have to ask you, does it mean that we're not safe and not secure?
No.
Okay.
Because if I were saying that it isn't safe, then I would say you need a safe country.
Okay.
You have a safe country.
Yeah,
you have a safe country, and one of the things that makes it safe is being a member of the NATO alliance. And as with all countries, you can do more. We can do more in making it safer. I think you would agree that it's certainly possible to make it more prosperous by building the economy.
I would agree, but the government, how they function, it's not that I would agree a bit about it.
Well, I'm not going to comment on the various activities because, frankly, I have seen for the United States, and I can't speak for any other embassy or ambassador, but certainly in the interactions that I have had with this government since they were elected, that they have worked to open business with American companies, that we have seen businesses that were U.S. businesses that were here doing more work, and they have also been great partners and interlocutors on the tariffs. And they have been working very closely with our Treasury Department and Department of Commerce and the White House on finding solutions that are good for trade for both of our countries. And that is how you build...
That the U.S. as well will trying to diminish the taxes totally towards North Macedonia, whatever? Or towards the region, since the government is working on?
Because my impression and my belief, because I've seen it in action, including with your terrific ambassador in Washington, Zoran Popov, that it comes from a genuine desire to again, we have a strong relationship, but to further strengthen that relationship, the economic relationship, the trade relationship with the United States. And again, this is to both our benefits to have that happen. So I really welcome that as the American ambassador here.
Talking about the results, since you mentioned it, and then we'll go back as well to the EU integration as the government, what is it doing? Whom did you call or did you meet to congratulate about the election results? First, the parliament, because we haven't seen you for quite some time, and the local elections as well. Have you called or met anyone to tell them congrats for the results? You know why? Because, usually we hear that, yes, we had the embassies greeting us, saying congratulations on the results, and then going up to the embassy, it's either holiday and the next day it's not a news anymore. So how have you understood you? Did you meet or call anyone?
I actually had a Thanksgiving event at my house last night, and I met a number...
About the results of the election.
Yes, I'm getting to your point. And I met a number of the new mayors who I have not met until last night. And it was... But
you didn't call anyone?
No, because it was, first of all, it's local municipal elections. And
it's not that you knew the candidates.
And for most of there are many, especially around the Skopje area, but beyond in the country, who I don't know. And so I was able to meet a number of them last evening, and I'm very happy for them. And they have an opportunity now to prove themselves as mayors, as all elected officials have. Once you
who won the elections? If you haven't called anyone, who won the elections?
That's difficult.
You know, it's a very interesting question for the Albanians. Who won the elections, the parliamentary ones? That's why I said, did you call or anyone? No, for Macedonia, we know who won, from Roma. But from the Albanian side, who won?
I didn't call anybody after those elections either.
But who won the election?
I really did. Well, obviously, the Vlen coalition and some of the others joined with the VMRO to create the government.
The elections?
That depends on how you're counting it.
No, it depends
because
on
in a parliamentary system...
I'm not the opposition, I swear.
No,
I am not.
I understand.
Because it depends how you're counting. It's not on me, I'm asking you.
It's not, like the United States, it's not a pure count. And because you have a parliamentary system, which is different than our system,
indeed.
And we have the Electoral College, which is
Winner
a
takes
whole
all.
other conversation, where somebody can get far fewer and still win. But it's who can create the government.
That's more important than who
who can build the
won the
government
elections.
coalition. Isn't that the case within parliamentary structures?
Well, I'm not saying is it or not. I'm asking you who won the elections. You're saying that whomever formed the government.
Well, define.
Did they won? Whomever formed?
Define win.
Well, I'm gonna define win, madam. You and I know what win means. I mean, very diplomatic, but.
But it's not simply by numbers. And if by winning the definition is who joined the government, then that's a different answer. We can talk about who won, and in any
if you want to say it, you say it.
If
not, it's
the highest number of votes. But generally speaking, in a parliamentary election, it's who is able to put together a coalition.
And then just let it go and move on with the life. Or move on with the politics until they sort it out how to get back.
The important thing for any democracy is that the people, the voters, decide. Not a foreign embassy, which is very important, not international observers. It is for the voters to decide. And I think what I found in the municipal elections was that many voters were taking their impressions from the first almost year and a half of this government and voting based on their expectations and whether or not those expectations had been met. And and I think
You're
that's
talking
normal.
about the local elections.
Yes.
Right,
because and generally speaking, particularly in this country, as I've been looking back historically, they can inform both the turnout and the decisions from local elections after a national election.
Yes, of course. That's traditionally that's how it was meant to, but still we don't. It's not that we know exactly should this debate continue still when you have polarization among the Albanian population and the political representatives, that not everything is in order, and everything was just let down, let it happen. Was it the case as far as you're concerned?
Honestly, Vladimir, I don't know. I can't speak for the voters of this country.
No, not the voters. I'm saying the polarization of the voters as such.
Well, I think it does come back to the voters, though, because is there too much focus on ethnic divisions in this country? Yes.
Is there any ethnic division in this country, first of all?
I believe that there is a great deal of discussion about that.
But is there ethnic division?
I can only say what I observe, and that's what is discussed. And what I have observed, and what is important, and again, I go back to the impressions of the citizens. They listen to their politicians, regardless of which, and from which party those politicians come, and they make their decisions about, okay, I take what you're saying, I like what you're saying, and you will get my vote, versus I want to talk about the issues that are important to me. I want to talk, and this is what I have heard from so many citizens, and especially young people.
Yes, but the ethnic division is beyond the voter, because it comes whether he or she likes it or not. It's the politics that does it.
But when they don't
let's agree
like
about that first.
When they don't like it, no, I don't agree.
What
because
you mean
the premise is that they are without power in this equation. And
Yeah,
that's
but-
what I don't agree with, because I think that the voter says, if they perceive ethnic division,
Okay.
then
You're saying if.
yes.
Okay.
Because not everyone does. And in fact, many people that I have talked to
Yeah,
say,
I agree.
sure, there's differences, but I'd rather talk about what you're doing about my health care.
Okay,
I'd rather
I
you
agree.
talk about whether or not I have to bribe a teacher for my kid
I
to get a
agree,
good
totally.
grade. And so it gives the voter the opportunity to say, I'm sick of listening to this guy, and I'm going to pick the other guy, and the voter gets to decide and make a choice. And that's the power of democracy, is them saying, I'm tired of listening to certain subjects. And it can be any numbers. And it's not just ethnicity.
Are people fed up of listening to constitutional changes and that we don't hear it anymore?
I don't know that they don't hear it. I feel like I see it all the time.
You tell me if they do, that someone is working something on the constitutional
you know,
changes?
I think that, yes, I am 100% certain that they are
So you
working.
wouldn't agree with anyone arguing that you're turning a blind eye on the constitutional change, that this government isn't doing anything?
Yeah, I don't believe that.
You don't agree, or you don't believe that
I
you're
do
turning a
not.
blind eye?
I know that they are working very hard in
Okay.
Brussels and in other European capitals to
I'm
to
talking
find a
about our
solution.
country, Macedonia, not Brussels. We know what Brussels has put ahead. We need to change our constitution. If anything changed, please tell me. We
And
need to change our constitution.
that's right.
That's what Brussels says.
But I think that the
we have to
government,
do it.
listen, whether I agree or not, this government
Are there any other?
has.
Because now you're scaring me. Are there any other things that we don't know besides the
No,
constitution?
but I know that you know that this government, because there are members of this government that are constantly in Brussels and Strasbourg and having these conversations.
Being there, changing,
I
being
am not.
there and working on a change.
Listen, a very important point. The United States is not in the EU.
I know.
I know
But when
you
we talk
know.
about European, EU integrations, Euro-Atlantic integration, NATO and EU.
Right.
Without NATO, there is no EU.
Look, I've never been anything but clear about the fact that I truly believe that this country needs to be in the European Union. In order to do that, there are certain
is it
processes.
working on that
There are
path?
certain processes
Have they
that have
shifted
to.
from the tracks?
I'm not in the conversations, Fatmir, but I can tell you that they are having conversations about paving the way. Now, whether that's effective or not, I can't speak to it, because again, I'm not in Brussels. I'm here in Skopje.
I know.
But that is beneficial, and it's
Are you
beneficial
encouraged for 1 year
because-
and a half since we have this?
No,
But let's be very.
No. Sorry.
Are you encouraged that they are doing their utmost for the constitutional changes?
I got here in November of 2022, so I've been here for 3 years now.
I'm saying for this government. It's special.
And I'm saying for all governments that I have observed, because I have observed for 3 years now, and I haven't seen anybody table a vote to say, let's
But
go.
are you encouraged with this government?
I am encouraged by the fact that I see that they are actively having conversations about paving the way and a process. Now,
Can you translate what that means? Paving the way, the process wasn't it already there?
I don't think
The way
it's
and the
as
process?
simple. I believe the conversations are saying this is not simply one vote for the Constitution. It's clarifying with the EU and with the Commission on the expectations. And that is important. And it is important to me as an outside observer, because it is, if they didn't care.
It's important to the public as well to hear, Madam Ambassador, is she encouraged or not? For 1 year and a half, what this government has done. I mean, because you're not saying yes or no.
I am.
It's just
Then let me answer as clearly
Short
as I
time.
can. I am encouraged by the efforts I see. Could more?
Efforts?
Yes.
Of
Could
course,
more
more
be
can be
done?
done.
Sure.
Madam Ambassador, one of the main issues in here as well remains the judiciary as such. You've seen how much we struggle and how much attention the Prime Minister Mitsotsi gives to it every single day. on talking about judges and prosecutors changing, not changing them. And we have a big case, which is the tragedy in Kochani, where we are all caught surprised. So what do you make of the judiciary? You know, you recall the last conversation, you invested hundreds of millions of euros in the judiciary.
$500 million.
I was ashamed to say it, $500 million, and we have 2% of the population who gives credibility to our judiciary system.
Vladimir,
now,
that is one sector in which I am not encouraged. Going back to your previous question, I am not encouraged by
that the Prime Minister is talking every day about the judiciary.
What I would like to see is less talking from the Prime Minister about the judiciary and action within the judiciary. There are rule of law issues that are simply not being addressed. And, you know, the Prime Minister is the President of the government, and he has a role to play. And if I understand correctly, that's not in picking various
he has given himself a role as well to talk about every day. You've seen it, of course. I believe you see the clippings. The media clippings every day.
Politicians talk about a lot of things.
Yeah, I know.
And so it's not for me to say whether or not he should say these things publicly. I think it would be better used to talk about things that are more fruitful. But the bottom line is things are not moving. I am also encouraged by the fact that we have this arrest with the EPART issues, and that is very important. I do not believe that one person alone is guilty in this. I think we can all be confident that there are many others that are involved in that. And, you know, going back to our personal investment and return on our investment, there are people across this country and this government that have roles to play now. There are prosecutors.
Can you be more specific?
Policemen, investigations, prosecutors, judges ensuring that there are timely hearings and decisions made. There are a lot of people responsible for taking action on this and holding. And here's an important point for me. And holding...
It's like the Prime Minister is partially right.
No, let me...
Because he's talking of the same thing, that the judiciary is not working, the prosecutors are not working, the judges should be shifted. He's saying the same thing.
My issue is not...
You're not saying the same as the Prime Minister.
I am not saying the same. I am not saying you should fire these people, you shouldn't give these people... First of all, there has to be a system for ensuring that the judiciary has the support it needs and that everyone plays their role under the law. That is not happening. And people know it. People know it and watch it and see it, and they see how long court cases take. And my only wish and desire for this country is that people do their jobs. Those for whom it is the job, whether it's a police investigator, whether it's a financial investigator to go through information, to do their jobs.
But if there is so much political interference, how can a police officer, a prosecutor, and a judge do its job?
That is,
I mean, you can only political interference.
You can only use that.
Is there political interference in the judiciary?
I'm sure there's some.
You're sure
I don't. However, I'm also sure that there has to come a point where people of goodwill, honest people, have to say, I don't care who calls me, I'm going to do my job. And you, as taxpayers, need to demand that those people do their jobs. You know, we're talking about prosecutors and judges, and I agree, but what about doctors? If your job is to heal people, then I shouldn't have to pay you a bribe in order to see my mom if she's sick. People need to, really, I feel very strongly about this, that I understand that it's very easy to say, I can't do my job because there's political interference. At what point are people going...
Well, it would be easier to say, this one called me, or that lady or this gentleman called me and said, change it. That would be easy too for us.
That would be easy.
Yeah.
I mean, go ahead. Why, you know, there should be... I was talking to somebody...
It's not that we heard you encouraging people, do and tell us who called you.
No,
you didn't. Right now.
I actually was talking to
you were saying, like, they should do their job instead of complaining about political interference.
Or tell
It should be even better to tag someone saying,
wouldn't it be great?
This, let me go check it out.
Wouldn't it be great to have somebody, whether a judge or prosecutor, say, I've experienced political interference and I'm not listening to it. I experienced it from this person saying that.
Yeah, please. Sure.
And instead,
give us a name. We would love to hear him or her.
Yeah.
They definitely believe more to you than to the media.
Well,
to the U.S. Embassy than to the media. Otherwise, we would have people on here because we call them every day.
Yeah. No, I understand. And again, what I was going to tell you is that we have a woman who just returned from a Fulbright in the United States. And one of the things that she is working on is the ability for citizens, and it started out on a very local level, but for citizens to call and report corruption.
Two issues, because we're running out of time. I see my crew telling me. One is, what do you make of the Kochani case as such? Do you, whatsoever, any way, shape, or form, have any indications, had any indication that there was some foreign involvement in the tragedy or whatsoever? Just to clarify it, I really want to know from your side about it.
Have you ever heard that?
And second, from a human point of view, how do you see the whole process as of now?
I have, it breaks my heart.
I mean, interferences from abroad, like you have this country being involved, that one.
None at all.
Because the Prime Minister was telling to XYZ inside, I doubt. Did he ever told you that he doubts something?
No, I have no information, and I don't believe there was foreign interference.
Okay.
It is a case that absolutely breaks my heart.
Yes.
And all of our hearts. And my concern with Kochani is, first of all, for the other kids especially that were there,
yes,
they are going to suffer from this for their whole lives. But also the whole community. I mean, this is a wonderful community that, and I've had a chance to meet many of them, and they are trying to rebuild their lives, and they are going to have a hard time doing that. And so my heart goes out to them, as well as any kind of help and support we can ever give. And I also wish for them and the families of those that were lost, that again, going to the judicial process, that it happens in a very, very transparent and clear way, whether it's streamed, however it's handled, so that those family members can say, I will never get my loved one back, but I know that this is happening in a way that I can understand and follow. And that is my only prayer for those people.
Last issue. Last but not least, I would have talked to you even more than this in 30 minutes. The issue of the Corridor 8, how is it going? Are you visiting the sites? Because I was told that they saw you on site a couple of times, so I have to ask you, are you or not? Is it true or not? And is there any issues that we need to know?
Yeah.
That everything is smoothly, not smoothly?
I thank you for asking, because I'm
very interested.
Yeah, it really.
Very, very, very interested.
And me too. I am so really pleased with the progress that Bechtel and Inca have made with Corridor 8 and Corridor 10, as they're working on the two aspects of it. But with Corridor 8 in particular, the reason why, not only because we have just a world-class American company that's working on this, but really from a NATO standpoint, from a strategic security standpoint, Corridors 8 and 10 are critical. And the great benefit of that is not only does it enhance security in this country, but it also increases trade. And it will be wonderful. And I have had a chance to visit a number of the construction areas. And I also think that the signing between the two deputy prime ministers for transportation across the border in Bulgaria was enormously important. And I think probably it had some political difficulties for both of them.
Yes.
I applaud their courage, frankly.
In making it happen.
And I look forward to that being completed. And I'm sure it'll be another couple of years and I probably won't be ambassador here anymore, but I'm going to come back and take the train through the tunnel or the road, because this is...
I would love to film that when you come back.
I will let you know. But this is enormously important for this country. It is such a big deal, and so will Corridor 10. It will be game changer in terms of the economy and security, and I am very excited by the progress that's been made.
How about the railway connection with Albania?
And that's incredibly important too. I know the UK is working on these things, and that is, look, if it's not an American company, I'm delighted to have my UK friends take it. But this is all really good news. And it's a real boon for the economy. Not only the construction and the jobs that brings, but boy, that movement is going to be, again, a real game changer.
Madame Ambassador, merci beaucoup pour votre temps. Un grand plaisir.
Thank you so much.
Zonja e zotrinj, ishme ambasador në Agjelër, djes kaq kohë pati zonja ambasador dhe aq edhe kushton. Faleminderit shumë për vëmendjen dhe shimin. Takohemi prap. Merci beaucoup, Madame Ambassadeur. Very great honor. Monsieur l'ambassadeur Christophe.